As a young man, John Fonte was a ball of fire aimed at the sun. As a kid in his hometown of Boulder, Colorado, he was called WAP. That means a person without papers. From the time he was 19 or 20 years old, he began to write stories about Italian Americans. He also wrote long letters to the great American publisher H.L. Mencken, who was editor of the American Mercury magazine, about his Italian parents. These letters to Mencken were crazy. They were the thoughts of a young man who was possessed by the god of words. In these handwritten letters, my father talked about his family and his Italian stonemason father, who was a gambler and a dreamer from Abruzzo. He wrote about baseball and about his mother, who was often thrown out of the local bakery and called WAP because their family didn't have enough money for a loaf of bread. As a boy, all John Fonte had was his passion for writing and for his people, and his need to swallow all of his life in one bite. Finally, the great publisher H.L. Mencken got sick of the long letters from this crazy young Italian-American writer. In a note back to my father, he said, "Look, Fanti, if you will type out this letter, I will publish it and pay you $100. The problem was that John Fonte did not know how to type. He was too poor to own his own typewriter. But he did have a friend who worked at a newspaper as a sports reporter, and one night when the staff was gone home, my father walked into the newspaper office and asked his friend if he could use one of the typewriters that belonged to a reporter. The fellow looked at the crazy young kid with the black eyes and walked into an empty desk and sat him down at one of the machines. "Okay, Paisano," he said, "here's the typewriter. Go ahead, write your story." The next morning, after typing all night, that kid had the manuscript of his first published story.